Don't watch this video if you don't care that Social Security is supposed to run out in 2034. And after that, it's only going to cover about 77% of total scheduled benefits. 2034 is 7 years from now. I've been working almost 40 years, and I still have more than 15 years before I'm eligible for full benefits. But that's already cut to 77%. Like, fantastic. Working nearly 4 decades, paying into a trust fund that I have no trust in. Money gone from my paycheck every 2 weeks. Like a lot of you, I've asked why there is never enough money for the retirement that I've earned, but there always seems to be enough money to start a new war. Look, Social Security isn't broke because retirees take too much and they live too long. It's not because of people who migrate to the US. It's because it's not well funded. First, there are pay limits that cap out at a specific earning. So if you make $184,500, every single dollar that you earn, you pay into Social Security. But let's say you make $5 million a year, you're already done paying your Social Security in the first paycheck. What I see is that the cap is the problem. Well, one of them. If you're wealthy, you probably won't need your Social Security payments. This whole scheme is a system that lets high earners slide and big corporations get to opt out of it completely. Mind you, the money is there. It happens to be in the pockets of a few, and it all comes at the cost of the working people. I mean, that is, if you can find a job to work. On April 6th, a man died on the floor of an Amazon warehouse in Oregon. He collapsed. A worker attempted to do CPR on him. Another worker with CPR training asked her supervisor if she could help. She was told to turn around and get back to work. When a company worth almost $3 trillion treats life like this, it's hard not to understand that this system is broken. These are the people who make that valuation possible. This is more than retirement checks. We are more than just a number, but it looks like people are waking up. More people think that large corporations should pay more in tax. That used to be a fringe idea, and now it's mainstream. Even the wealthy are starting to talk about it. This clip has been going around.
Now, I just want to make one final point. So this is de-dollarization moment. It's always worth having a reflection on it, but I just want to tie it back to Minnesota, Donald Trump, and socialism. And I think it's important for us to just highlight that if you own assets, like we do, the four of us, we own stocks, we own real estate, we own other assets. As the dollar devalues and everything inflates in value, our asset prices go up, and we get wealthier and wealthier and wealthier. The majority of Americans do not own assets. They are net asset negative. As a result, they live off of income, and they do not benefit from the de-dollarization like asset holders do. And this is what is ultimately fueling populism in the United States. And the populism in the United States is what is driving socialism, and the response to those behaviors is what Donald Trump elected to some degree, and the response to the Donald Trump actions is what's driving the civil unrest in Minnesota and other places. And I fundamentally believe that much of the unrest, the civil unrest, and ultimately this divide in this country is driven by the fact that de-dollarization, because of excess government spending, ultimately leads a majority of people in this country to feeling oppressed and left behind because they're seeing a few people in the country accelerate their net worth, like all of us here, and there's no way for them to catch up because they don't actually own assets. So I'll be honest with you guys and make a confession. I was at the gym this morning on the treadmill.
You were at the gym?
Yeah. And while I was there, I was actually thinking about the wealth tax stuff that's going on in California. And I wonder if it may be an inevitability in order to keep the United States from going to civil war. I mean that very wholeheartedly. Like, I just don't know if there's a way of solving this fiscal problem without a functional redistribution of wealth. And the question is, can you do it violently or non-violently? And if there's a non-violent path, I think that's probably the preferable path.
Now, some people think that it proves that billionaires are becoming sentient. I don't agree with that. Billionaires are not going to gain consciousness before AI, but they have realized that if they get ahead of what is inevitable, they can get away with giving up much less. This podcast episode was posted on YouTube on January 31st, and that was well before all those fires started.
Oh my God, this does not look good.
A massive fire at an Ontario warehouse.
New video shows the fiery scene at the Tesla office uptown as police say a suspected Molotov cocktail was used to start a fire.
A Molotov cocktail was thrown at Altman's home. The suspect in that case was arrested at the company's headquarters, allegedly threatening to burn down the building.
Home of OpenAI CEO Sam Altman has been attacked for a second time this morning.
These people are so out of touch that they couldn't see the problem until recently. Or maybe they knew that there was a problem all along and that was the actual point. Now that these smoke signals keep getting sent, it appears that some of them have realized that they're not exactly out of reach. They used to say that there wasn't enough money to go around, that statement's not landing anymore. We can see their mega yachts, and they're not just happy being rich anymore. They have to be influencers too. They're showing us their private jets and their fancy weddings and vacations. And now we get to see all of that when before all we got to see was a picture here and there, but mostly the view of the warehouse floor. I just paid my taxes. Taxes really stress me out, and that's why I use an accountant. It's actually far cheaper using an accountant than the mistakes I would make doing the taxes myself. I used to send my accountant receipts by email, and now I just send a link. Proton Drive ensures that nobody can access your files without your permission, not even Proton. And that's because it's end-to-end encrypted cloud storage. And it happens in the background. You don't need to manage encryption keys. You just upload your files and it's done automatically, keeping them private and safe. And when you share files that you've stored, you keep control of them with passwords and expiring links, and you have the ability to revoke access at any time. Also, remember that Proton products are open source. Thousands of experts worldwide have audited it for security. Proton offers plans ranging from free to business. And like I've mentioned previously, I started with the free plan. And whether you're looking for the free plan or the paid plan, I do keep a link with discounts in the video description. Proton, thank you for partnering with me on this video. Sam Altman's research group, Open Research, published their study on universal basic income. It would give people a monthly check with no strings attached. In February, they actually started their RISE research project. It's a study of rural America and people's experiences with the RISE guaranteed minimum income over a 16-month period. An extra $1,000 a month is always helpful, especially considering prices today. But right now, a lot of people are losing their jobs. Companies are using AI as the reason for eliminating staff. And even if people weren't losing their jobs in droves, who's going to pay to uphold that safety net? You're going to tax the AI? While I don't stand for billionaires, Warren Buffett has a really good idea.
The federal government owns a part of the earnings of the business we make. They don't own the assets, but they own a percentage of the earnings. And they can change that percentage in a year. And the percentage that they've decreed currently is 21%. And I would say with the present fiscal policies, I think that something has to give. And I think that higher taxes are quite likely. And if the government wants to take a greater share of your income or mine or Berkshire's, they can do it. And they may decide that someday they don't want the fiscal deficit to be this large because that has some important consequences, and they may not want to decrease spending a lot, and they may decide they'll take a larger percentage of what we earn, and we'll pay it. And we always hope at Berkshire to pay substantial federal income taxes. We think it's appropriate that a country that's been as generous to our owners. It's been the place. I was lucky. Berkshire was lucky it was here, and if we send in a check like we did last year, we sent in over $5 billion to the U.S. federal government. And if 800 other companies had done the same thing, no other person in the United States would have had to pay a dime of federal taxes, whether income taxes. No Social Security taxes, no estate taxes, no, it's open down the line. Now, I would like to, I hope things develop well enough with Berkshire that we say we're in the 800 club and maybe even move up a few notches. It doesn't bother me in the least to write that check. And I would really hope with all that America's done for all of you, it shouldn't bother you that we do it. And if I'm doing it at 21% this year and we're doing it at a higher percentage later on, I don't think you'll actually mind the fact that we sold a little apple this year.
Thank you to everybody who shared a coffee, a super chat, liked a video, left a comment, shared, and subscribed. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate your care and your kindness, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Now, this one here was my last video uploaded. When I uploaded it, I had a feeling that YouTube wasn't a fan. And when I got an email from YouTube the next day, my feeling was right. So if you want to watch it, it's right here. Otherwise, there's a video here. I don't know what it is. YouTube thinks you're going to like it. I will see you in the next video. Okay.